7 things that become meaningless after 70. What if some things you've worried about your whole life just stop mattering after 70? As we move through the years, our priorities change. Not because we give up, but because we finally understand what truly deserves our time, our energy, and our peace of mind. There's a quiet kind of wisdom that comes with age, the kind you don't get from books or advice, but from living long enough to know what really counts and what never did. In this video, we're talking about 7 things that just don't matter anymore after 70. These aren't just philosophical ideas. They're lived truths grounded in experience, backed by psychology, and echoed by seniors across generations. If you've ever felt pressure to keep up, hold on, or chase things that don't feel as meaningful anymore, this is for you. Each of these 7 things has probably been a source of stress at one time or another, but now they don't need to be. Not because you're too old to care, but because you've earned the freedom to let them go. And that freedom doesn't mean apathy, it means clarity. Knowing what no longer deserves your worry gives you more room to embrace what truly matters: health, purpose, connection, and peace. So if you've ever wondered when life starts to feel lighter, not because your load disappears, but because you learn how to carry it differently, stay with us. These 7 insights may not only confirm what your heart has been telling you, but also give you permission to walk through the rest of life with more grace, more confidence, and a lot less unnecessary weight. Let's begin. Number 1, other people's opinions. There was a time in your life when what others thought of you held real weight. Whether it was how you dressed, the job you had, the car you drove, or even the way you raised her where you were in your children outside judgment could feel like a measuring stick for your worth. But after 70, something inside shifts. You begin to see those opinions for what they are: fleeting, inconsistent, and often rooted in other people's insecurities rather than your own truth. You realize that living your life to satisfy others doesn't bring peace. It only delays your own. Eleanor, 74, used to hesitate before doing anything that felt too different. She worried about neighbors commenting on her garden or family members criticizing her decision to start painting again. But one day she caught herself asking, why does it matter what anyone thinks? That question stuck with her. And the more she lived by it, the more freedom she felt. Now she wears bright colors, plants what she likes, and displays her art, even if it's a little messy. And you know what? She smiles more now than she did in her 50s. Letting go of the need for approval doesn't mean becoming indifferent or rude. It means honoring your own voice above the noise. It means understanding that people will have opinions no matter what you do, and they'll often forget them just as quickly. What sticks is how you feel about your choices. When you lay your head down at night, after 70, you've lived through enough to know that you can't please everyone, and that trying to is a recipe for frustration. This isn't about isolation. It's about liberation. You become more selective about whose voices you allow into your life, and that's a good thing. The opinions that matter most are from those who love you, not those who barely know you. And even then, you have every right to make decisions that serve your health, your happiness, and your peace of mind, regardless of what others may think. There's a quiet power in walking into a room and not wondering what anyone thinks of you. It's not arrogance, it's wisdom. It's the kind of self-trust that only time can teach. And once you taste it, there's no going back. Because nothing feels as good as knowing you're finally living life on your terms, without apology and without permission. Number 2, trying to follow trends. There's a certain pressure that floats around in our culture, the kind that whispers you should always stay current, stay sharp, stay with it. Whether it's fashion, technology, or the latest lifestyle fad, there's a silent expectation to keep up or risk being labeled as outdated. But after 70, that pressure loses its grip. You begin to see how shallow most trends really are, how quickly they rise and fall, and how little they actually contribute to your joy, your comfort, or your sense of self. Harold, 78, used to wear what everyone else was wearing. If the jeans were tighter, he bought tighter jeans. If the phone got smarter, he upgraded, even when he didn't need to. But it wasn't until he bought a pair of soft corduroys that fit just right and went back to reading paper books, because he liked the smell and feel of them, that he realized he didn't care about being trendy. He cared about being comfortable, about being himself, and that shift gave him more peace than any new gadget ever had. Trends are designed to make you feel like you're missing something. They sell urgency, an illusion that if you don't act now, you'll be left behind. But once you cross a certain line in life, you see clearly that the only thing worth chasing is what actually serves you. If a style flatters you, wear it. If a new tool makes your life easier, use it. But never feel obligated to change. Just because someone else says it's the new thing, there's dignity in choosing timelessness over trendiness. There's strength in honoring your own rhythm. At this stage, you've seen enough styles return full circle to know that what's in today was out yesterday and might be back again next year. That's not a game you need to play anymore. You've already won the one that matters, knowing who you are and what makes you feel good in your own skin. So wear the shoes that support your feet. Listen to the music that soothes your soul. Decorate your space with what brings you peace, not what's popular. Because real confidence isn't about being on trend. It's about being unapologetically at home in your life. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, regretting the past. We all carry a few moments we wish we could rewrite, a missed opportunity, a harsh word spoken, a decision we might have handled differently. Regret is one of those quiet companions that tends to follow us through the years. But after 70, something softens. You start to see your past not as a list of mistakes, but as a roadmap that led you exactly where you needed to be. And the more you reflect, the more you realize that everything you've lived, both the joy and the sorrow, has shaped your depth, your strength, and your wisdom. Walter, 81, spent years replaying a decision he made in his early 40s. He turned down a job that would have paid more because it meant relocating. And for decades, he wondered if that was the wrong move. But now, sitting in the same home, where he raised his kids and watched his grandkids grow, he understands something deeper. That choice, while uncertain at the time, gave him stability, presence, and a life filled with relationships that still matter. In hindsight, what once felt like a regret now feels like a blessing in disguise. Regret loses power when you meet it with compassion. At 70 and beyond, you've earned the right to stop judging your younger self. That version of you was doing the best they could with the knowledge, resources, and emotional capacity they had at the time. And just like you wouldn't scold a child for not knowing algebra, you can learn to stop scolding your past self for the things you didn't know then. There's freedom in saying, that happened. I learned from it. I'm still here. It doesn't mean you forget. It means you integrate. You take the lesson, the growth, the scar, and you let it inform your choices now, not punish you. Because the truth is, regret can only live in the past, and your life continues to unfold in the present. Every morning you wake up is another page that hasn't been written yet. Instead of wondering what could have been, you begin to focus on what still can be. And that shift from regret to resolve is one of the greatest gifts aging gives us. You no longer carry the past like a burden. You carry it like a lantern, lighting your way with hard-earned clarity. Number 4, comparing yourself to others. At some point in life, we all measure ourselves against someone else. It might start in school, who has better grades, better clothes, more friends, and it often follows us through adulthood, who has the bigger house, the longer marriage, the more successful children. But after 70, the urge to compare begins to lose its grip. You start to see that every person walks a path filled with hidden struggles and silent victories, and that no two lives are ever really alike. Not in journey, not in timing, and not in meaning. Lois, 75, used to scroll through social media and feel small. Pictures of old friends on vacations, celebrating anniversaries, holding grandbabies, all made her feel like she had missed something. But then one afternoon, she took a walk through her garden and realized she was comparing highlight reels to her own quiet, meaningful life. She had health, freedom, and a few dear friends she could call at any time. That moment changed how she viewed her story, not as lacking, but as uniquely hers. Comparison is a thief. It doesn't just take your joy, it steals your focus. When you're busy looking sideways, you forget to look inward and forward. And while someone else's life may look shinier or easier from the outside, you never truly know what they're carrying. The truth is, no one gets through life without hardship, loss, or regret. Not even the ones who seem to have it all together. After 70, you begin to realize that success isn't about reaching the same milestones as everyone else. It's about peace. It's about the relationships that nourish you, the passions that still light you up, and the quiet moments that remind you how far you've come. You've lived through enough seasons to know that comparison is almost always based on incomplete information, and that the most powerful metric is not how your life looks, but how it feels. So let others live their stories while you continue writing your own. Let their wins inspire you without diminishing your own journey. You don't have to match anyone. You just have to be faithful to who you are, where you are, and what matters most to you now. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, pushing your body beyond its limits. In earlier decades, many of us believed we had something to prove about strength, stamina, or simply our ability to keep up. Whether it was lifting heavy things without asking for help, working through pain, or pretending not to feel tired, we often ignored our body's quiet requests for rest in the name of pride or productivity. But once you reach 70, a new kind of wisdom settles in, one that tells you it's not weakness to slow down, it's wisdom. It's not defeat to rest, it's respect. And it's not lazy to protect your energy, it's an act of self-preservation. Charles 80 used to insist on mowing his own lawn every week, even in the summer heat. He told himself it was good exercise, that he was staying independent. But after a dizzy spell one afternoon landed him at the doctor's office, he realized something had shifted. His body wasn't asking him to stop, it was asking him to listen. So he hired a local teen to help, and now he still enjoys being outside, but from a chair in the shade, sipping iced tea and chatting about baseball while the lawn gets trimmed. He didn't lose anything by stepping back, he gained peace. At this stage in life, your value isn't tied to how much you can carry, how far you can walk without resting, or how fast you bounce back from strain. You've spent a lifetime using your body to care for others, to build a home, to make a living. Now your body deserves your care in return, and that means listening to the whispers before they become shouts. It means honoring your limits without shame. When you stop pushing for the sake of appearances, you open space for healing. You start to notice the subtle cues your body gives you, and you respond with kindness instead of judgment. You learn to stretch gently, to walk at your own pace, to take naps when needed, and to ask for help without embarrassment. There is strength in knowing when to act and when to pause. Rest isn't quitting. It's a form of participation in your own longevity. And pacing yourself is not about doing less. It's about doing what matters most, with presence and clarity. You don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore, not even to yourself. You've already done more than enough. And now you have the right to move through life with ease, grace, and a full heart. Number 6, holding on to grudges. There's something heavy about resentment, even when it's buried deep. It lingers quietly, coloring your thoughts, draining your energy, and keeping parts of your heart closed off. In younger years, holding a grudge can feel like a form of protection. Like if you stay angry, you're guarding yourself from being hurt again. But by the time you reach 70, you start to realize how much those old wounds cost you. And suddenly, the energy it takes to stay angry just doesn't seem worth it anymore. Phyllis, 79, had a falling out with her sister when they were in their 50s. The details faded over time, but the distance remained. For years, every family gathering came with tension and polite avoidance. But after a recent surgery reminded her how fragile life could be, Phyllis picked up the phone. They talked for an hour, not about the past, but about their grandkids, their gardens, and their memories. That call didn't erase everything, but it softened the edges. It gave them both peace they hadn't felt in years. Letting go of a grudge doesn't mean saying what happened was okay. It means deciding that your peace matters more than your pain. It means recognizing that forgiveness isn't always for the other person, it's for you. Because when you carry bitterness for too long, it begins to take up space that could be filled with joy, connection, and healing. There's freedom in releasing old anger. There's lightness in choosing not to rehearse that old conversation one more time in your head. You begin to understand that people are flawed, complicated, and often hurt others from their own places of pain. And while that doesn't excuse the harm, it explains it. It helps you soften, not for their sake, but for yours. Forgiveness doesn't always require reconciliation. Sometimes it simply means saying, "I'm done carrying this," and setting it down. It means giving yourself permission to move forward without dragging the weight of the past behind you. You've got better things to carry now: hope, joy, curiosity, and love. And those things thrive in a heart that's not tangled up in old pain. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 7, rushing to meet someone else's timeline. All throughout life, we're told there's a schedule we're supposed to follow. Graduate by this age, settle down by that age, retire at this point, find love by that point. It's a script most of us have felt pressured to perform, and if we didn't hit those marks on time, we often felt behind, as if we'd somehow missed our chance. But after 70, that entire framework starts to fall apart. You begin to see how artificial those deadlines really were, and how much joy exists outside of the so-called schedule. Henry, 82, started taking piano lessons last year. He'd always wanted to play, but never had the time or the nerve to start. He worried he'd be too slow, too stiff, or just too late. But now every morning, his fingers move across the keys with shaky determination and quiet pride. He doesn't care about mastering it. He cares about the music, the curiosity, the feeling of doing something just for himself. And that's what makes it beautiful. After 70, you begin to understand that nothing meaningful in life has an expiration date. Love, learning, creativity, healing, these things don't stop because of a number. They expand when given room. And the truth is, rushing towards someone else's idea of success only distracts you from discovering your own. Whether you start a hobby, mend a relationship, or take a leap of faith, the timing is perfect if it feels right to you now. Letting go of the race doesn't mean giving up. It means waking up. Waking up to the fact that the most fulfilling chapters of your life might still be unwritten. That your story doesn't need to match anyone else's outline to be meaningful. And that joy, growth, and discovery aren't reserved for the young, they're reserved for the willing. So if something's been tugging at your heart, don't ask if it's too late. Ask instead, is this still calling me? If the answer is yes, then it matters. And if it matters to you, that's enough. You're not behind. You're right where you're meant to be, writing a life that honors your own pace, your own desires, and your own truth. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on the 7 things we've explored. Which ones felt familiar? Which ones gave you permission to breathe a little easier, to be a little kinder to yourself? Maybe you recognize that you've already let go of some of these, or maybe this is the first time you're realizing how much unnecessary weight you've been carrying. Either way, there's no better time than now to lighten the load. Life after 70 is not a winding down, it's a waking up. A waking up to your own voice, your own needs, your own rhythm. It's when you stop chasing things that don't serve you and start treasuring the things that do. You've earned this peace not by avoiding hardship, but by walking through it. And every step you've taken, even the ones you questioned, brought you to this place of clarity. Letting go of what doesn't matter isn't about becoming indifferent. It's about becoming intentional, about choosing presence over pressure, joy over judgment, and depth over distraction. And the more you embrace that, the more room you make for connection, purpose, and meaning in the years ahead. So as you move forward, remember, you don't need to keep up. You don't need to look back. You only need to be here, fully present, fully yourself, and fully open to what still awaits. Because what doesn't matter anymore has cleared the way for what truly does. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.